Why don't we go then to episode 4? Because this is really the big one, I guess.
Yo, is the big one, Alice.
This is the big one. The John Cena heel turn, the Rock and Gewurz, and their ideas. What'd you think of episode 4 of Unreal?
The title was Heel Turn. And we've talked about some of this when the stories were going around of what had happened and what had really happened potentially and et cetera. And we said, how are they going to, the WrestleMania documentary last year, right? Was when they had to rewrite that. That was last year, right? When they had to take a while for that one to come out.
Yep.
Because they had to figure out a way to reshoot shit to work around everybody being pissed at The Rock. And they may have had to do it again to some extent this year. They start the show with the big buildup of The Rock. And Jesus Christ, he deserves it. He's one of the biggest stars in the history of the business. But since he has lost his mind and thinks he's a creative genius, apparently when he's not, and has a team around him, including this little pimply-faced, greasy Gerwitz, to fucking tell him how great he is and carry his piss around. He comes in every year, biggest show of the year, and fucks shit up and causes them to do shit that people don't want to see. And he's not really, he called himself in the start of this program the greatest heel wrestling has ever seen. This is supposed to be a behind the scenes real thing. So it's not like he's working, like he's a heel and saying, I'm the greatest ever. He really believes, or he's trying to tell people that it was. It was a stink bomb. He talked like it worked. He's becoming this version of, it was the most gratifying thing I've ever done. Jesus Christ. And then Nick Khan put him over. Where we saw after WrestleMania 2024, there was huge fan demand to see The Rock again. And they started trying to tell as we pointed it out months ago, the story, which is what it is. Well, Elimination Chamber in Toronto, it was a tough Canadian economy. How do we over-deliver? The fucking show was almost sold out before anybody knew The Rock was around, as we went back and looked, remember?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they got a boost for the show, but
yes,
it doesn't justify everything else.
They're trying to, Nick Khan is trying to tell us, and also we would get Travis Scott. How'd that work for you? Right? But so they're trying to tell a story. Elimination Chamber was soft and that they had to do something to spice it up with The Rock. That wasn't true. It was selling just like all the other shows were selling, maybe better or whatever. And I don't know if the Canadian economy was tough, but it didn't seem to be hampering the people that were there. They over-delivered by fucking up the booking when Rock made Cody the offer for his soul and that whole rotten pitch.
That's the thing. Listening to the Rock and Gewurz admit the stuff, this is the stuff they're admitting to on camera.
Yeah.
What their creative and their ideas were. You know, there's a difference between Bob Dylan and Benny King. Benny King's a fantastic singer. He needed Doc Pomus or someone else to write the words, and he would knock it out of the park. Bob Dylan was a singer-songwriter, wrote his own words. Sometimes the wrong person thinks they're a singer-songwriter.
Actually wrote better than he sang, too.
But I think the problem is The Rock believes he's a creative force, and the reality is The Rock is an incredibly talented wrestling actor. And he needs someone else to do the creative, not him and Brian Gewurz. When you say I was the head writer from 2002 to 2015...
Oh, those were legendary years.
The people who discovered wrestling during those years probably really loved some of those years. For those of us who have been watching wrestling for a while, the shows were juvenile and awful. for a long time. And he's admitting he was the head writer during that period of time. The period of time that led people to saying, I wish there was another billionaire who would just start a wrestling company. It was all of that period of time that led to people hating WWE. So this is the creative force behind this Rock stuff, which look at where we are today and the Cena babyface turn and the lack of The Rock other than commercials for his movies on these programs. And that's not even getting into the disaster that's Travis Scott. And why WWE, other than the fact that Ari Emanuel may be representing him, why would WWE bend over backwards for Travis Scott? He meant nothing to the business. This wasn't Cyndi Lauper appearing with Hulk Hogan and their picture in every paper, and people kept talking about it. They may have gotten a picture of Travis Scott and The Rock and John Cena in the paper. No one focused on Travis Scott. And then he smacked Cody in the ear. So
if somebody saw a picture of Travis Scott, would they know who the fuck it was? Besides that, to begin with, and yeah, they enabled a celebrity to come in and give their top guy hearing damage and then get away with and emerge unscathed. But yeah, Koski called this seismic when Rock asked for Cody's soul. He wanted Cody to, that's how bad it was. From what we can put together, they really wanted Rock and he wanted Cody to turn heel and be subservient to the final boss. And when Cody was like, nah, no, then Cena said, well, I'll do it. I thought it's because he wanted to do it. Maybe now he was just like trying to be a team player, but
yeah, and people have been wanting a Cody, some people, especially in AEW, had wanted a Cody Rhodes turn for a while. Maybe right now some people are even starting to think about it. If the reason it finally happened was The Rock, and then he had the same schedule, and he never appeared on any show ever again, it wouldn't have helped Cody. Yeah, it wouldn't have helped him.
No. Well, anyway, everybody tried to explain what a heel was and how to be one. Michael Hayes, I think, did the best job of explaining it somewhat and had some Freebird highlights. But the New Day, they talked. Remember, that was a great deal where they turned on Big E and then they ended up wearing the same kind of shit and doing the same kind of thing in the same kind of spot. I thought they were going to be like a top tag team.
And if you listen to Xavier Woods there, he's saying, we are without a doubt the greatest tag team of all time. And we did this. And then they show the clips and it's like, man, this is exactly the kind of shit I started hating on this show. Just childish nonsense for an audience of Vince.
Yeah.
And then they did that heel turn with Big E and it was brilliant. And they showed the clips again. Big E, those facial reactions while that was going down were amazing. And then the next time we saw him, he was just hosting the pre-show. And they were a heel tag team feuding with the LWO or whatever. So yeah, completely dropped that ball to the point where no one cares about the New Day again.
Again! And Triple H said the hardest thing to do in this day and age is to keep a secret. Because everybody agrees that the audience wants to be surprised. Nobody knows what's going to happen. That's, but they're not keeping any secrets here. They acted like there was a big call for John Cena to turn heel. For years there was, maybe long ago, but not recently. But then Bruce, of course, Bruce is like, how in the world are we going to feature John Cena? Do it the easy way with the babyface matches, or Nick Khan again? Well, we had to spruce up Toronto and called The Rock, and Greasy Gerwitz thought that Cody versus Cena babyface match felt dry. So this was a quote. Myself and Rock got together and pitched a few things.
Well, you see, that's the thing too. He's saying like we thought it was dry. He's not saying that as a member of the writing team that are in these Paul Levesque-led meetings. He's saying that as The Rock's outside creative person that, according to what they said here and what we've already known, they just drop in.
Yeah.
When The Rock's ready to come back. That's a monkey wrench is what that is.
And then did you hear the pit? They wanted Cody to turn Rock down then at Elimination Chamber and then Rock make a match and have Owens beat Cody for the title. And again, I'm not even disrespecting Kevin Owens, but no, they really wanted to fuck with Cody from the start of this thing.
And by the way, that would have been a disaster because his neck went out right around that period of time. Yeah.
There you go. And then, so now who actually said, Triple H doesn't remember. Bruce says that it was him, Triple H, and Koski were challenged with an idea. Koski said Rock and his team made the original offer, what we could do with the chamber. Blah, blah, blah.
And nobody remembers. The only thing they could agree on, it happened a couple months ago, but no one can remember.
And so Koski said, well, what if Cody accepts and drops Cena and sells out to The Rock? He admitted pitching that as a thing. And this fucking guy, what is the matter with you? And then Bruce says, well, what if we turn Cena? And Triple H loves it and Koski blesses it. So all these people are either had these ideas for real and are stupid, or are having to take the heat for having these ideas because The Rock and Greasy Gerwitz are stupid. But to protect The Rock from people knowing that he's a glory hound and fucked up all the booking, they all act like it was their idea and it was good.
Again, The Rock began this by saying his final boss character, which had one match, I think, and a handful, to maybe two handful of appearances over 2 years, was the greatest heel in wrestling history and the most rewarding thing he's ever done in wrestling.
And that's why he didn't bother to fucking continue any of it. It was that they shot it all down and nobody liked it.
What I thought was interesting about this, and again, even though this is reality or a docuseries, whatever you want to say, there are certainly things that are set up for the camera and things that are done for the camera. With that said, watching Triple H, the diplomat, have to deal with The Rock was fascinating. Because those are two guys doing everything they can to be respectful to each other, knowing what reality is.
And of course, they said they kept the knowledge of the turn on Cody into the circle of trust. Triple H, Rock, John Cena, Nick Khan, and Travis Scott. Again, who the fuck is this fucking guy that he should be consulted on any of this? And that they were including him in this, and he's lucky to even be there. And what the fuck?
And by the way, considering the way all this went down and the fact that wrestlers are now openly ripping on him because they're allowed to, should they drop his music as the Raw theme song?
I didn't know that's what that was.
That's what they announced when they went to Netflix. It was Travis Scott's music.
I've tuned the music out because it's all unlistenable, all the shit that they use. I've just tuned it all out. But anyway, then John Cena's reactions. Well, if you believe it, I'm in. And Triple H's like, no, really. And Cena, I like it.
I like it so much that I'm going to turn back babyface in one night on a whim for no reason right before the pay-per-view.
Cody's quote was, this is the most confused the fans have ever been. You think? And so anyway, Hayes said he didn't know till the day of the show, but they showed him going over the Elimination Chamber with the talent. I don't like, again, that part of it where even if it's Michael Hayes, they're going over move for move what's going to happen ahead of time, all sitting there chiming in ideas like you would do when you're talking about a match. But that don't need to be on camera. And I wrote Triple H's and Rock's talk seem strained.
Yeah.
Did you like the way that Triple H kind of manipulated Rock into at least letting Cena do all the physical stuff to Cody? And let Rock giving the signals, because that at least kept that part of it on Cena, who they knew they could count on if The Rock decided to fucking fly off to Hollywood again.
I thought it was great just the way he agreed with The Rock while also giving himself an out because he knew he had to, again, be a diplomat where he hears what The Rock said. He goes, oh, I like it. It's good. Why don't we get everyone together, see if we can get everyone on the same page?
Yeah.
That way someone could say, that's not my page.
We need to turn the page. But anyway, and then they recapped the chamber match, which was a long recap, but better than seeing some of this other stuff. And they had even kayfabed the truck. But they showed Triple H calling the entire turn for the truck. Which again, step by step, it just takes some of the magic out of what you see. And then everybody congratulated themselves afterwards and patted each other on the penis. But now we know it didn't work. It didn't make any sense. Travis Scott bailed. Rock didn't come back. Cena apologized, and Cody never got to potato that fuckwit back.
Cody came out, again, looking worse than everyone else. Not as a person, but the way he was booked.
Yes.
What's Rock going to do this year for WrestleMania? When he shows up around Royal Rumble this year,
oh my
Rock?
God.
It's going to happen again. You know it's going to happen again.
I'm telling you, if he does it 3 years in a row, somebody in the office is going to take a stick to him.
That movie comes out in a few months. The Rock is going to reappear on this show. And again, in his mind, admittedly, he thinks this is the best heel character of all time, and it's his. There's no way he's not going to immediately fuck everything up again.
If he shows up again and fucks up their booking leading into WrestleMania a third straight year, I guarantee instead of going postal, people will start saying that he went Stamford on a guy. One of those fucking, because look at him. The pussy whipped guys in the suits and the sweaters sitting there all meek and everything on their laptops. They're the ones that fucking can't take the pressure. And they're one of these days, they're going to fucking go off. Goddamn, set the whole building on fire or whatever. Too much pressure.
Well, that was WWE Unreal Episode 4.
Awful tight in here.
Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. All right. Well, those are the words of Antonio Inoki.
Inoki, Nisenda.
Jesus Christ. What are you doing over there?
I'm in your head.
Well, you sure are. I can't talk at all today. Any closing thoughts on Unreal? We'll do episode 5 next time. I think that's the last episode for now.
Next time here on the Experience or the Drive-Thru or whatever this is. But yeah, I mean it's programming to glorify their new creative leader and get paid hundreds of millions of dollars from Netflix. I'm not a fan. I wouldn't have a camera sitting in my production or my finish meeting if I was one of the talent and I was me.